Hi all, welcome to a PowerShell tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll go through the basics and show you how you can write your first script in no time. If you are new to PowerShell, no worries. This video will provide you everything you need to know to get started. So, in this video, I will cover basics of PowerShell and variables, how you can create variable, how you can use the variable operators, what is the use of operators, conditions and loops, how you can structure the script, and how you can create objects, what is modules, methods, and properties, and how you can create your first functions, how you can handle the script error things, and the regular expressions and common commandlets like active directory, how you can work with your files and folder dates, and remote things, wmi cim and all. Then like I will conclude with the uh, PowerShell topics. So yeah, let's start. So, PowerShell is a task automation framework that consists of command line shell and scripting language built on the .NET framework. It allows system administrator to automate tasks such as user management, process automation, and system configurations. So, for opening PowerShell on Windows, we need to press Windows and X and select Windows PowerShell, or you can search PowerShell in the search menu. On Mac or Linux, open the terminal and type pwsh to start PowerShell core, like cross platform. So it comes to PowerShell version. Power Windows PowerShell, like we version 5.1 and earlier, is built on .NET framework, and PowerShell core, version 7.x, like is a cross platform and built on .NET core. PowerShell ISE, like PowerShell, Windows PowerShell Integrated Scripting Environment, is a host application for Windows PowerShell. In Windows PowerShell ISE, you can run commands, write, test, debug scripts in a single window-based graphic user interface with multi-line editing, tab completion, syntax coloring, selective execution, context-sensitive help, and support for right-to-left languages. Uh, a PowerShell script is a file with the extension .ps1. To create a script, like open an text editor or PowerShell ISC, write your script and save it with the file name and extension ps1. To execute a script, we need to use like dot slash and the script name. And like the basic comments in PowerShell are like there are a lot of PowerShell comments, and it is very difficult to put all in one list. So the command line structure goes like verb and noun or action to perform, that is get, set, new, remove, and the noun will be the object or thing you are working with, like process, service, or item. So basically, it like get process, set process, new item, like that. And the basic common commandlets are get help, get command, get process, which list all the running process, get services, like get all the services, and lots more. And if you want to use any commandlet, open the PowerShell IEC or PowerShell console and just type the commandlet like get process, and you'll get the output and all. We'll see further in coming videos. So let's see some of the basic things in PowerShell. So basically, like in PowerShell, for security reason, PowerShell is set up by a default to only allow assigned script to execute. So we need administrative access to uh, change those things. So to get the effective execution policy for the current PowerShell session, we need to use a get execution policy commandlet. So you can see here, so the current execution policy is remote assigned. And to get all the execution policies that affect the current session and display them in precedence order, we'll see. Yeah. So you can see based on the scope, we have execution policy. For machine policy, we have undefined. Again, for current user, we have remote signed. To change the policy execution on your Windows computer, you need to use set execution policy. So you can change the execution policy like this. Yeah. As I mentioned, like might need administrative access for this. And to remove the execution policy for a particular scope, you can use set execution policy and provide the execution policy as undefined and scope required scope. So as I mentioned, like you need administrative access to do these things. And you can also bypass the execution policy by bypassing it, like set execution policy bypass, and you can bypass the things. Then let's go to aliases. So in PowerShell, there are many ways to achieve the same result. So aliases is kind of alternative or nickname to a commandlet, and we can use aliases in any script. Like instead of using one commandlet, you can use the aliases. Like to get the all the aliases in current session, you can see these are the aliases. Like instead of I can instead of using for each object, you can use percentage. Again, instead of set location, you can use cd, that is change directory. Set content, there are many aliases in PowerShell. Like instead of using whole commandlet, you can use aliases. So it's just an alternative to a one commandlet. And to create a new aliases, as I mentioned, like if you want to create new aliases for any commandlet, you can use get new aliases and provide the name. So you can see this, it's already exists. So I can give gdate here. So you can see if I give get date, I'll get the date, and if I give gdate, I'll get the same result. So instead of using whole commandlet, I can use aliases. Create or change an aliases for commandlet or another command in the current PowerShell. You can use set aliases and provide the name list value get child item. So you can see list. You can set this. Yeah. So the both the command get child item and list will provide the same result. And exporting the current aliases to file, you can use export aliases, and again you can use import aliases. So if I execute this, and you can see get content, and if I provide this path, it will have all the aliases in CSV format. Again, the same file I can import it. So if you want to change multiple commandlet, you can import the file. Next will be the pipeline. So one of the first question people might have, like when begin to use PowerShell for scripting. So how to manipulate the output? So we can use a pipeline for that. So pipeline symbol, that is a pipe, is a symbol used to use the end of the commandlet to take the data and feed it to the next commandlet. Like once you get this data, and you can feed it to the next commandlet. So for this commandlet, the output of the first commandlet will be the input. So let's say if you use only this commandlet, you will get output like this. And if you want to get only the name, like any field, like if you want to get the mode, if you want to get the last right item, what you have to do is, like, you have to just use select object, means you can see here you'll get only the name. So basically what we are doing is we are just manipulating the output of first commandlet. So below command gets the notepad process and then stops it. Like it will open the notepad and then stop the process. This example show how to sort all the process on the computer by number of open handles. So if I execute this, you can see it will sort by number of handles. 0, 50, like this. If I execute only this, like, it might not be sorted. Then this example show how to use the format list. So if I use like this, it will have format list, like the output of this, like win logon, it will be formatted with properties. So you can see you'll have all the required properties for the output or process win logon. So this is how you manipulate the output. Like you can use, or uh, this can be used in the script, like for the using the for each object, or again, like if you want to shorten your script, you can use the pipe command. Like we use it's in the most of the places. Like if you want to get a selected object, let's say you are using get ad user, and for the particular user you want only specific attributes like same account name, email, first name, last name. You can use select object. And again, as I mentioned, there are many cases where we use select object, or also for each object, to loop through the output of first commandlet. And there are other two basic things, like how to comment in the PowerShell. We can use hash for a single line, for multi-line, like this. You can, like if you want to comment um, any comments or any scripts inside your PowerShell, so you can use for like hash for a single line comment, and for multi-line, it should start with greater than and lesser than symbol. So this is how you comment in PowerShell. Then we might need to use get help in the most of the places to get the basic information of the command. Like if you want to know what the particular command does, you can use get help. So these are the basic information. Like you can use get help like directly or with name, or you can use hyphen and question mark. So this is a simple way to get the things. And also we have aliases like help man. So like you can see the output will be similar. You can see for all three comments, the output will be the same, and you will get the name, synopsis, then syntax, description, related links, and remarks. Then for the detailed information, you can use iPhone detailed and or iPhone full. Then again, if you want to get the selected part from the get help, you can use only if you want to get only examples. So you can see you'll get only the examples here, like how to use a particular commandlet. Then you can again group by or all the parameters. You can see everything here, like how to wrap, for particular attribute or parameter, you will have the things. Again, you will have online version, then display help about. Again, you can see here available help topics. These are the available help topics available of and all. So let me stop this. Display a list of topics that include a word host. Get help host. You might have, you might not have, but again, this is how you can use command let you display all the topics with particular word. You will have clear host, again with enter ps host process, read host and all. So this is how you can use a manual, or get the details about a particular commandlet. So let's see variables in PowerShell. So variables are used for storing values. Let the value be of any type. We need to store it somewhere so that we can use it throughout the console or script. So variable names in PowerShell begins with a dollar symbol as a dollar variable and all that, and values assigned using equals. Like you can see, it's a simple variable. It starts with dollar symbol, and you can give any name here, and you have to assign value with equals. And PowerShell variables has like number of types, such as text, strings, integer, decimals, array, and even advanced type like version numbers or IP address. So let's see the simple examples of variables. So if you want to create any variable, you need to start it with a dollar symbol, then give any name and assign a value to it. So here it's a string. You can have integer, you can create an array or anything. So this is how you create a variable in PowerShell. So this will be used in many places, like if you want to get active directory user using active directory model like get ad user, you can assign it to the variable and you can get the required attribute values from a user, and again you can use it on many places. One of the example is to store your current location in the variable, you can use get location command and assign it to the variable location. So if I execute this, you can see it is assigned to LOC now. So if I print it, it will get the current location. Then to display information about the content of variables, we need to use means we need to use a get member type property, and you have to add a pipe to it. So let me execute this. So you can see the drive path provider and provider path will be displayed. These are the properties. Then if you want to manipulate the variables, like any variables, if you want to manipulate, let's see what are the commands are available. So for that I'm using get command and noun with a noun variable. So get all the commands which has noun as variable. So you can see variable noun, we have clear variable, we have get variable, new variable, remove variable, set variable. Like if you want to remove the variables, you can use remove variable. Again, you can use clear variable as well. So currently, let's say what I can do, get a variable. So if I use get variable, you can see all the variable I got. And if you want to clear all the variable, like user defined variables, so you can see A, C args are there. So let me clear those things. Now you can see only system variables are available. And we have a environment variable. So to get the environment variable, so again I'm using get child item, and for that we need to use env colon. So yeah, so these are the environment variables which are defined for some of the usage in a system. So to get a specific environment variable, so if I want to get a system root, so what I have to use is $env, then colon, then get or use those variables. So let me execute this. You can see Windows system root is Windows. So you can get any variables using $env and pass the required variable name. So you will get the variables. So this is about a simple definition of variables, like how to define variable, how to assign values to the variables, and how to execute command and assign output to particular variables. So let's see strings, arrays, and hash table, and again some of the automatic variables in PowerShell. So strings, again, you can see if you want to define any string, again you need to use a variable name. You can give any variable name. We have double quoted string and single quoted string. Single quoted string will be a literal string. I will let you know what it is. So if you want to assign value to any variable as a string, you need to use either single quoted or double quoted. Here I'm using double quoted. So if you use double quoted, you can see it is assigned to like some basic text assigned to my string. So when I use my string, you can see you can the some basic text is, again this is integer here. So if you want to use integer within a string, you need to use like this. Now let me print both the things. So my string, it's some basic string. Again you can see inside the second string I have used variable, second variable. So you can use directly here. So if it is double quoted, you can use a variable. But again, in like if you use literal string, that is single quoted string, this variable won't print. Like you can see here, single quoted string with a variable. I'm printing variable here. But if I use a literal string, so you can see I have assigned a string value within single quote, and I'm executing this. You can see the special character also not escaped, and the variable reference. Like if I use any variable, it won't print the value of that variable. So if I use this variable, it should print. But what happens is, you can see variable value won't be printed. It's consider it as a literal string. Like, so in this case, it will print the required values, like variable values. But if I use a single quote, it won't print those things. Again, we have here string. So if you want to use a multi-line string, so you have to enclose within at symbol and double quote, so that you can have multi-line string. So you can see here, if I execute this, it will print in multi-lines. So no need to give special characters and all. So you can just need to enclose the values within at and double quotes. Again, we have literals here. If you see the difference, you can see like literal string. So if I use within single quote, the required value won't be expanded. Means if I use non-literal string, is the difference. You can see if I use non-literal string, the value will get expanded, like get date, I will get the date. But in this case, it won't. So that's the difference between literal and double quoted like string. So the special characters. So if you want to escape something, like if you want to print double quotes, if you want to like if you want to go to the new line, there are special characters like in tab, like the T and all. So I will show you the example here. This uses tab. So you can see if I give the special character, like escaping character is this. So then if you give T, you can see that tab got printed like here. Again, if you want to escape double quotes, if you want to print a double quotes, you have to use the escape character. You can see double quote. If you won't use this, it won't print. That you can see. Can see that won't get escape flow. So for that, you need to use escape character. And if you want to print in new lines, I can show you that as well. Yeah, double quoted and single quote, both you can use. And if you want to use new line, yeah, here I already shown that. Yeah, N will be for new line and T is for tab. So there are other special character available which you can use to use with escape character. So you can have a tab or a new line or some beep sounds and all will be available. So you have to use special characters for that. Then string formatting. So if you want to print, or if you want to format the string, I will show you. Like I have one variable here, S1, and another variable is S2. So that is Windows PowerShell, and I have a second variable as a point. So if you want to print it as, or if you want to format it, so you have to use within flower bracket and pass the field as S1, like whatever the field you want. So I can show you that here. You can see. So you have to give the field value here, the what you have to format in place of 0 and 1. So if you want to replace this, then you can see point and Windows PowerShell. So this will be helps in some case, like some scripting things like formatting the string values and all, and concatenating. So if you want to concatenate the strings, you can use directly or you can use plus operator. So it's a direct concatenation. Means you can see greetings from PowerShell. So if you give space, it will have space. Otherwise, you can directly use this like this. The same way you can use plus character as well. It's a for concatenating. And again, if you want to use, means when we have to use plus symbol, or like in case of getting some variable values. Here I'm getting host name and all. Then if you want to use sub expression, like let's say if you want to get the date, from the date you have to add days and days of week, you have to use within dollar symbol and you have to open the small brackets. So you have to enclose within this. Any commands you have to use any sub expression. So these are considered as a sub expression. And if you want to use it inside a string, you have to enclose within dollar symbol and bracket, a small bracket. You can see the value will be calculated. And we have some string operations. I will be covering it in next videos. Like here you can see string replace. So if you want to replace any characters within the string, you can use string dot replace. You can see it will get replaced. X will get replaced with yes. And also you can get the substring. You can see from 201 to 7. So it will be 0 and this will be 1 from 2 to 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can use substring. There are like multiple string operations available. Like you can see dot. If you give dot, you will get all the methods here. So one of this like replace and substring, you can check whether string contains some characters equals, or you can make it as caps or make it uppercase, small case. You can convert those things. You can check whether it starts with, like you can split as well and all. So yeah, there are multiple string operations available. This is about string. Then let's see arrays and hash table in PowerShell. So like again, we have a syntax for initializing arrays and hash table. So it starts with at symbol and smaller bracket. So it's a list basically. So the syntax of declaring array will be like this. You have to have a variable. We start with dollar symbol again, and it to have equal symbol. Then assign the value to it. You can have a null value as well, or you can assign directly some values. So to create 32-bit integer, you have to have like this int 32. Then like if you want to get the type of array, like sometimes you need to check whether the variable is string or list or array. So let's say let's initialize this like this and then get the type. You can see object is system.array. So you can have this in script while checking some variables. Like you can check if it is string, you can have one logic, and if it is array, you can have another logic. So if you want to get the length of an array, so here if you want to get the length of an array, let me initialize this and then check this. The length of an array is 7. So this is empty initialization. Now if you see the length, it will be 0. And if you want to access any values from the thing like index, means usually in the array the index, the first will be the 0, the index of first character or first entry will be 0, then 1 2 3 like this. So if you want to access anything from array, you have to use square bracket then the index of an array. So if I execute this, I will get 1. So let me, yeah, now it will be 1. And then if I want to get the second character or integer, that will be 2. And you can see, so I'm just adding 3 entry from the array to 1 2 3. Then if I want to add the elements to the array, you can use plus symbol as well. Like you can see, and let me print array here. Then if I add some other new entries, you can see new entries got added. Now how to loop through it, like how to access the array. So if you want to access an array, you can use for loop, or for each also. So using for each, you have to use for each and this will be a temporary array. From all the array get loop through it. So I'll be printing like this. So you can see like this. For each elements from an array, it will print. So you can have anything here. Get the every element from array. So again, using for loop, you have to initialize a variable, then have the condition here, then increment it. So that condition is whether the this just an initializer is less than array length. So you can see here, then access like first time it will be 0, so it will print 1, then 1 is lesser than or equal to or lesser than an array length, then it will execute the next array, it will increment, then again it will be 2, again the length of array is lesser than I, so it will print again, it will loop through the array until the I reaches or the limit of array length. Then initializing multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array like this. So if you want to print multi-dimensional array, you print this. You can see it will print like this. But if you want to get first entry, you have to use like this. 0 of 0 will be first, 0 of 1 will be 2, like you can see. And 1 of 0, 4. So if you want to get 9, you have to use 2 and 2. Okay, like this. So this is how you can access multidimensional array and create the multidimensional array. This is all about arrays in PowerShell. So let's go to hash table. It's something like a map. So initializing empty hash table will be like flower bracket. So array will be small bracket and hash table will be flower brackets. So just initializing the hash table and initializing with values. Can have cat, dog, and all. So accessing the hash table, this will be considered as a key and this will be considered as a value. So key value pair. So if you want to access any value from the hash table, you need to have or you need to know the key. So if I want to get the value of cat, you'll get like this. So similar for others. And if you want to add the items, you can see it's adding value already exist. So let me add a new one. You can't add a duplicate value. So if you want to remove any value from the hash table, you can use remove. For add, you can use add. And again, looping similar to array, I'll be using for each. For each key, you can see what I am printing is pet will be again, it's just a placeholder value. It will print a key here, then value. So you can see if I use p here like this. Print the value of each key, sorry. Like this. This will print the key, then this will print the value of each key. Again, you can format the hash table using format list. You can see the name and value. This is about hash table. We'll see some examples in hash table or in PowerShell later. So I have a couple of examples here. The simple examples. One of the example is like to get or reverse the provided value. So yeah, before going to this, I have automatic variables as well. So automatic variables are the variables provided by a PowerShell. So we have some variables considered as automatic variable like created and maintained by Windows PowerShell. So one has ability to call a variable just about by name in the book. Like, let's say if you want to get the status of a previous executed command, so you can use like this dollar and question. So I will come to that later. So you can see get variable. You have lots of variables here. Some are automatic variable as well. So the first one will be OFS, that is output field separator, a contains string value that is used when converting an array to string. So let's say I'm creating array here, and if I execute this, you can see it is separated, like array is converted to string, and it is separated with a space because OFS is space. So let me change the OFS here. You can see now the OFS will be pipe. So now if I try to convert array to string, you can see it is separated with pipe. So you can do anything, like you can have comma as well. You can see. So this is just an output field separator which helps to convert array to string, like for separating. Then you can see write host hello. Hello will be printed, and if I try to execute this command, you can see that will be true. So now let me have some error here. I try to. So this is to print the like error of previous executed command. So you can see for some reason I'm not getting, but yeah, this will be the status of a previous executed command. Now the null is just to have empty value in the array. Like if you want to have empty value, means for initializing any variables. Let's say if I want to initialize a empty variable for this, you can use like this. You can print where just to have nullifying or having a null value to any variable. Then get the result, means this will throw an error here. You can see error and error variable. So the array of most recent error object. So if you want to get the first one, you can see this error you will get. Then if you want to remove, you can use remove as well. Now if I try to execute this, I'll get the previous one. And PID contains process ID of a current hosting process. It's just a process ID. Sorry, process ID. And PS version table. It's a version like contains the or display details about versions of PowerShell that is running in current session. So let me execute this. PS version 5.1, 5.11904. So this is a version of current session edition and all. Then the another automatic variable, that is dollar underscore. So contains the object or item currently being processed by a pipeline. You can see. So it will print all the things like under this folder. Get the child item recursive. Then check whether the current item is container or not. If container is equal, just print it. So it's just printing all the folders, items. Then my invocation, it will print about the current execution script. So I can show you this in my example. Like you can see my invocation dot my command dot name. So it will print the complete path of this script. So you can see that here. So let me clear all this. If I try to execute this, I will get complete path of this script. So I need to provide some, right? We'll say that okay, test is not a palindrome. So this is example of the variable, like I'm assigning the value to one of the variable. I'm using read host, and I'm getting a value from the user, this input. then convert it into array. So you can see first command. So I'll give ADDA. So this will be a palindrome. So now I have value and then I'm converting it to array. So if I try to print B here, you can see ADDA, it's converted to array. Then I'm reversing it using reverse method. So you can see means it's the same. Then joining it. So I'm joining and then assigning it to C. So then I'm checking with input value whether it is equal or not. So if I try to execute this, there is a palindrome. So let me again check with non-palindrome. I'll give test here, then convert it to array. So let me print B. So you can see TEST, then reverse it. You can see TESET. So it got reversed. Then joining and adding it to new variable, then comparing it. You can see test is not a palindrome. So this is about palindrome example, like how you can get the value and assign it to as a variable, then convert it to array, then reverse it, then again add it to a new variable as array, then compare input value and the new array, make sure whether it's palindrome or not. Then another example is like check whether uh, get the largest and smallest from an array. So again, I'm initializing some simple array. Can see, let me print it. Yeah. Then assigning empty like first value to a variable called largest and smallest, then looping through it and getting largest and smallest values. Let me print 98 will be largest and 23 will be a smallest. So this is how you can get the largest and smallest value from an array. Like I'm just checking whether the first character, like first character, mean like the first one, index one is greater than largest or not. I already asked like initialize the value with first element. Then assigning means if it is greater, I'm assigning it to the largest variable. Otherwise, if it is lesser than the smallest, I'm assigning it to smallest variable. Then at the end of loop, I'll get the values. You can see you can again add 21 here. Let me execute it. So we can see 21 is smallest, 98 will be largest. These are the two simple example on variable. So an operator is a character that represents an action. So in PowerShell, like it tells the compiler or interpreter to perform specific mathematical, relational, or logical operation and produce a final result. So basically, PowerShell interprets in a specific way and categorize accordingly, like arithmetic operator perform operations primarily on numbers, but they also affect strings and other data types. Along with basic operators, PowerShell has number of operators that save time and coding effect. So the first will be the arithmetic operators. So like addition, subtraction. If you want to add or multiply or with the modulus of and two digits, like you can use arithmetic operators. So let me assign values to two. Like I have A and B. So if I add means we have arithmetic operator as a plus. So it will add, then this will subtract. Like it won't assign it to any variable. It's just adding and subtracting, or just an arithmetic operation like adding multiplication. Like you can multiply two integers, again divide, like you'll get 1.5 as a result. It's a modulus, get the reminder. then assigning negative value to the variable. So next comes the assignment operators. Again, here what happens is, in the previous case it's just doing the arithmetic operation. Here it will do arithmetic operation and then assign the values to the variable. So here it will add uh, a and b, then add the result to a. So you can see it's adding. Then if you try to print it, you'll get the result. So previously it was 3. Now after addition it is 5. So now again if I subtract, and you can see 3, that is 5 minus 2 is 3. Then multiplication, that is 3 and 2, you'll get the 6. Then dividing and getting the modulus. So this is how you assign the value to in variable. Then comes the comparison. So here we use a dash symbol to use the comparison, like equal, not equal and all. So let's say it will provide us a boolean value whether it's equal or not and all. So we'll see here. You can see a is not equal to b. Yeah, it's true. A is not equal to c. It's a e. Q will be the equal. In Q will be not equal. LT will be less than. GT will be the greater than. LE less than equals. You can see is not less than equal, but it's greater than equal. Then you can add it to the multiple logical operation as well, like and is the logical operator here. So you can see again I will be assigning values to variables. Then I'm checking this. So you can see here, like a less than b and b less than a. So and or like the both the values, if the both the value is true, then the output will be true. If you can see here it's false. Why? Because this is false and this is true. If you want to get the true, what you have to use, you have to use or. So most of the time we use this like in the conditions to get the result, like to validate whether given value is not equal to null or not and all. So again you can use not operation to check whether the provided values are not equal to null, or let's say you are calculating something. Before moving further, you need to check the calculated value is null or not, otherwise you'll get the null pointer exception. Then again sometimes you need to validate given values and all. You can use logical and comparison operators for those. Like comparison operator we will be using in a lot of places in PowerShell. Then we have split and join operators, like you can see. So the value of a is, then if you split with, you can see the cat, dog, fish, hamster got splitted. Then again you can join. So here let me initialize like this, and so it's an array. Now you can join using a delimiter comma. You can see it's got joined. You can use any delimiter value. Let me use pipe. So yeah. Then there is a concatenate operation here. Again it will give, it will concatenate or join. And you have array operators, like if you want to increment or decrement the variable, you need to use double plus, which will increment the variable. So you can see it will increment by 2, and this will increment by 1. So again in the loop while loop we use increment operator, like unary operator, like it will increment the variable. It's like counting. Then call operator, like if you want to execute any comment by assigning it to the variable, instead of directly executing this, you can assign it to one variable. Then it will just print the things. But if you want to call, you can use ampersand symbol. It will execute the particular commandlet. Again, casting the operator, like you can use the casting operator. You can see it got casted, and get type, it got casted to date and time. Then you can cast it to int. You can check what is the value of, or what is the type here. Get type is int 64. Then comma operator, you can have like to create an array, you can use comma operator. Again, formatting operator. So instead of having all the values here, you can use formatting, like you can have the index here and the field value first, second will be this, then again math will be added here. Then comes like a range operator. So if you want to get for a particular range, you can use this. So you can see max is 10, then 1, 2, 3. Like for this range, it got printed. So 1 to 10. So you can give 5, anything. That's the ranging. And dereference, like if you want to get a particular property, you can use like this. Again, you can kill using dot symbol, you can kill the things. Then get the static member. So you have double colon. So you can see you can get the values from the static members. Then sub expression in the sense, if you can use expression inside the string, like this is just a string, and if you want to get the value of, or if you want to expand the expression, or if you want to expand the commandlet, you have to use within the brackets and dollar symbol. You can see this hill assigning, then this, you can see this variable got multiplied with this and then printed. So that's again sub expression, expression within the expression. Like here we have string and executing or expanding another commandlet. Again, we have number of operators like commandlets. Let's say redirection operators, like redirecting the values to the file, or overwriting it, appending the values. You have greater than symbol, like you can use operator like this to overwrite, and this to append to the existing file. For redirection, there are a number of commandlets, like operators. So you can use one and sorry and two. So this will send success and error output to error stream. Like you can use the any commandlet and it will print, and if there is any error, it will show the error as well. Then there are, again, as I mentioned, it has, instead of 1, you can use 1 to 6. There are like warning, verbose, debug, and information and all. You can use like this. You have to, you have 3 like this for warning and verbose. And as I mentioned, we have a number of things like and or XOR, string manipulation operators like replace, split join, we already seen. And yeah, once we go through all the videos, we'll see how to utilize these operators in our daily life or in real time. Let's see conditional logic in PowerShell. So PowerShell supports a standard conditional logic operators, much like many programming languages. So this allow certain functions or commands to be run under particular circumstances. So with an if the command inside the brackets are only executed if the conditions inside if are met. So let's see some basic if statements and like if else statements and all. The syntax will be like it starts with if and encloses with condition. If it matches, you can execute some statements. Again, we have if else if and else. So you can have only if, or you can have else if, or you can have if and else. So it goes like this. You can have only like this. You can say it's a condition. So you can have like this, and you can also have like this. You see, have one example here like input if and else, and we can also have this. So only this if and else if, or if and else only. So first what will happen is it will check the condition. If this condition matches, it will come inside and execute all the statements written here. Then if the condition didn't match, it will check another condition. If this condition also not matched, it will go to else. This is the final one without condition. So this is a simple syntax and this is a simple example. So I'll be getting the input here. So let me execute this. So M is for morning, A is for afternoon, and E is for evening. So let me give M. So it's good morning. So what will happen is it will check if input is M, good morning. Then if not, it will check whether it's A or E. If it is A, it will be good afternoon. Then it will be good evening. So let me see. So I'll give Q here. So just a hello. It's kind of a default one. And again, if I give E, it will say good evening. So we have three conditions here. If all three are not matched, else will print. Same like we have switch statement. So allows variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. So each value is called a case, and the variable being switched on is checked for each switch case. It enables you to write a script that can choose from a series of options, but without requiring you to write a long series of if statements. So, like here again, the syntax will be condition. Like it will have case, like value will be checked, and if that condition matched, if the value is m, it will be good morning again. Instead of having if else statement, you can have a single switch condition and get the input. If the input is m, print this. And again, depending upon input, you will have again default one. So let me execute this. You can see good afternoon. So instead of having if else and all, you can have a switch as well. It works like it will check the condition and print the required statements. And you have match operator as well, like get the input and check the regular expression as well. Like here, what I am doing is I'll be checking whether provided input is 5 digit and 4 digit. Like I can see input 5 digit with, you can see is a valid zip code. And if I have given, it will say it's not a valid zip code. So I'm just checking the input, whether it's matching with a digit, and these are all regular expressions. So if it matches, it will say input is not like if it is not matches, it will say it's not a valid zip code. Otherwise, it will say it's a valid zip code. So you can use not, you can use EQ. These are all the operators. So hyphen EQ, any and all. It's operators like equals, not equal, greater than symbol. There are many operators you can use. You can use not symbol as well to check whether provided input are not matching or not. If it is not matching, you can print the statements. And again, regular expression, you have like with a switch statement, you have regular expressions, a wildcard, file parameter like hyphen file, then again default condition. Here I'm using regular expression, and you have break, continue as well. Break in the sense, we'll see like if the condition matches, the execution will break, otherwise it will continue. Here it's a simple example like I'm checking regular expression with inputs. Here slash d is a digit, again space, word, multiple words. You have many things like uh, again you can check whether it starts with or ends with like that and all. So here you can see I'll be printing a. So you can see you entered a character, you entered a word. So a is a word and character both. So here I'm not giving a break. That's why both the condition matched and it print both the statements. Like it's a word as well as character. So if I would have given a digit, it will say it's a character, digit, and word. So now, if I add break, so instead of having a single statement, what I will do is I will print the statement and I will break there itself. So I can show you that. Enter something. I will enter W. This is just a character. And again, if I execute and if I give test, this will be a word. Then if I give it's a word, then it's a character. So this is how it works. Then I have two things here. Like I have, like we have where object. So it's also something like condition only. So if I print get process, it will print all the running process in my system. Now if I add where object or question mark, it's alias. But if I use where object here, get all the process, means process by name, and print only if it start with iExplorer, Chrome, Firefox. So let me print this. You can see all the Chrome process name printed. So can add again anything here. So depending upon the process name, you can print the things. So these are the process name available. So only required process you can print. Let me see. Here we have, if you want to print winlog or torrent, instead of iExplorer, let me print uTorrent. You can see with Chrome, uTorrent also got printed. This is also same thing. Like instead of using whole where object, you can use its alias as well. So this is also condition based statement. Like get instead of getting all the process, only provided process will be printed. This is all about conditional logics in PowerShell. So with a simple example like searching an element in array in a sorted array. So if you want to get any key, means this is basically a binary search. So I'll be providing some list of elements here like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. And the key which I want to print is 60. So I'm using binary search here. So binary search, how it works is like get the middle. So once I get the middle, I'll check whether it's equal to the key or not. If it is greater than thing, then means if the key is greater than, go right side, otherwise go left side. Means I'll be checking high and low. This is how it works. Like while a condition, if L is less than or equal to H 0 and the maximum one 10 and 70, means it will assign 0, and this will assign length of H. So you can see here if I print, key will be 60, L will be 0, H will be 6, the length of array. Then checking whether the length or L is less than or equal to H. Then get the mid. Mid will be like 0 plus 6 will be 6 by 2. Then it will be 3. You'll get the 3. Then check whether key equals the mid. So means 60, whether 60 is equal to 40. No. Then if key lesser than mid, then H will be mid minus 1. So again, this is how it works. It will check middle. Then if the 40 is, or the key is less than 40, it will go left side. Otherwise, it will go right side. Then loop through it. You can see if I execute this, I'll get key 60 found at position 6. So this is the simple example on if condition. I'm checking if whether key is less than or equal to mid and all. Then if it gets the position, it will break it. So simple example on if, that is a binary search. Like that's a sorted thing. Yeah, this is all about conditional logic in PowerShell. A loop in PowerShell, like a loop is a sequence of instructions that is continuously repeated until a certain condition is met. So, being able to have your program repeatedly execute a block of code is one of the most basic but useful tasks in programming thing. So, a loop lets you write a very simple statement to produce a significantly greater result simply by repetition. If the condition has been reached, the next instruction like falls through to the next sequential instruction or branches outside the loop. So let's see what are the loops available in PowerShell. Like we have for each, while, do, until, and all. So the basic syntax for a while loop is while keyword, then the condition, then the statements. So what happens is until this condition is reached, do all the things which are inside the loop. So let's say if you are printing something, and if you want to print it for add some like 10 lines or 100 lines, you need to give it here like print it for 100 days, like less than 99. So it will print 99 times. So here I'm initializing the variable I to 0, then checking the condition whether I is less than 3. So if it is not, it will print it. You can see it's not less, it's less than 3. Okay, I is less than 3. Okay, print it 0, then 1, then 2. So once it is 3, it's equal to 3. So it won't print. Like if you want to print 3 as well, like you can give less than or equal to. So LE will be less than or equal. GE will be greater than and equal. Then GT will be greater than. So while condition is not reached, print the things. Then the same goes for do while loop. We have do while, do until. Do means how it works is like before executing the command, it will print the things. So let's say if I give 5 here, so it will print 5 first, then check the condition, then like it won't allow to do the further execution. So if I give 0, it will be similar to while loop. It will print 0, 1, 2, then it will check the condition, and like it won't print the next thing. Here do until it reaches the condition. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. Then once it goes to 4, it will check and it won't print the things. Now we have for each. So for like here you have to initialize in the while loop, you are initializing above the loop, then you are checking the condition and incrementing within the statement. So for loop, how it happens is all three will be in the bracket only. So here you can check, first you have to initialize, then check the condition, then increment it. How it goes is first you have to initialize, you will be initializing to 0, let's say here it is 10, then it will check whether I is greater than or equal to 1. If not, print it, then increment or decrement, then again check the condition, then again decrement it. So here if I execute this, you can see for 10 it will check whether the 10 is greater than 1. No, so print it, then again 9, 8, 7. Once it reach 1, and next it will go to 0. So 0 is not greater than 1, so it will stop there. And if you do this, this will be infinite loop because you are not initializing and there is no condition. So if I execute this, you have to break that. So this will run infinitely. Then we have nested loop, that is loop inside loop. So you can see 0 means it's I'm just printing 0 0 0 1 0 2 means you what you are doing is like nested or adding loop inside the for loop with the same syntax and all that, no change in syntax. So I'm just printing the line will be I and j. So first 0, then 0, then again 0 and 1, 0 and 2. So first, like I will show you here, on first loop what it happens is it will just check the 0, 0 with j0 and 0 with j1 and 2, then again it will go for 1, like you can see here 0 1 2 3 is I value, then 0 1 2 3 the second character will be j's character. That's how it works. Then we have for each. So for each element in the variable, it will print the things. So it's a simple real-time example, like get all the process where the memory is greater than 100. Here you can see I'm not adding break or continue. So what happens is it will print all the process where the RAM is 100 MB. You can add continue as well. The same output you will get. But if you want to break on the first outcome itself, so then break it here. So what happens is it will check first condition, then once it prints it will break. Then the next thing will be for each object. So if you use for each object, so instead of having multiple lines, you can do it in a single line instead of having all the instead of getting the process, then doing all these things. You can get the process, then pipe it to the for each object, then have the condition here. It's all single line only, then print the value. So the outcome will be the same as the above. This one also you can do it in multiple lines, but the only difference is you are sending output to the for each object instead of getting then looping through the variable. So this is a real time example. I have another one. If you want to update a users list of users, you need to go through with a for each or for loops. So first get the list of users. Here I'm just using import CSV. I'll be getting list of users and I'll be storing it to the variable. Then looping through those variable, and it will loop through until it reaches the limit. So let's say it has 10 users. Like for first user, it will get the user SAM account name, and then I use set -ad user command, which is part of Active Directory module. Then get the SAM account name, update the user principal name UPN. Then if there is any error, it will catch here. So set AD user, for each user in the list, it will update the UPN. So most of the times updating the things inside PowerShell, we use for each, or you can also use while loop. So this is about loop in PowerShell. So let's see objects in PowerShell. So objects are essentially known quantities of something that programming language can use, interact with, perform computation and transformation on, and in general consume. Like technically an object is a simple the programmatic representation of anything. Objects are usually considered as two types of things like properties, which simply describes attributes of whatever the .NET object is representing, and a method, which describes the types of action that the .NET object can undertake. Like, for example, let's consider a car as an example. If we are making a car into a .NET object, then its property would include like engine, door, accelerator, brake, and all. Then the methods would include turn engine on, turn engine off, open the door, close, plus accelerator and all. So let's see how we can examine objects and how we can create the objects in PowerShell. So to check the object, just use get item and provide the path and use get member. So if we execute this, you can see this is how the object look like. Like type will be system.io directory info, and we have code property. The member type will be their method and properties will be there, and the name and its definitions. And again, you can get the type using object.getType. So you can see the types and all. Then I'll be just creating like, let's see how we can create a new object. Let me execute this get CMI instance, get the instance of operating system. Then there are multiple ways to create the object. The first one will be like a simple one. It's like a textbook form. Like how we can create is just initialize the object first with a PS object. Then add the member. So node property, I will be adding a member type node property. Then you can see what I am adding is OS build version and serial. So you can see here I'll be adding one. Then again means I can add both the things. So if I print it, you can see the value OS build, OS version, and the serial number is added. So I'm getting the values from OS, which I got it from using CMI CIM instance. Then I get the build number, version, and serial. This I'll add all the values as name and then the property. So if I use object and you can see we have OS build, version, and serial as a node property, and the default methods will be there. This is one of the way to creating a new object, and again you can simplify using pass through as well. So how we can do is like, instead of creating multiple objects, just add a pipe at the end, then use pass through, so that instead of using object you can just pass through it like this. So when you end a line with a pipe character, PowerShell knows to go to the next physical line to look for the next command in the pipeline. Essentially, it's a way of breaking up a long command into multiple physical lines. So combined with a pass through switch makes this a series of three distinct command. And again, there is another way of creating object. So here I'm using select object, adding the property, like all the property in the hash table format. So here again, the same like approach is different, but the result will be the same. Again, I'll be using adding it to the another object. The same thing will happen, and you can create a new object with PS custom object ordered, then add the name and values. You can provide any name here, as I'm giving like OS build and all. Here I'm giving name, ID, object and all. It's again creating the object with a different approach. So one approach is the straightforward one, like most of the people use, like create the custom object, then add the members to it, then use pass through, then using select object you can pass the properties with the hash table. Then again you can use like simple way is like use the PS custom object, then provide all the required names. Again, a straightforward one. Then you can also use like same approach here. I'm adding all the properties in the hash table. Same thing we can do, like add all the properties and assign it to a variable. Is just and creating hash table, then adding it to it. And instead of creating variables separately, you can directly assign this to property. Again, you can see here I'm creating new object. Type name is PS object. In previous case, I have used select object. Then another simple way is creating an empty hash table, then add the values, create an hash table, then add hash table directly to the properties. In this case, you can just add the values and remove the values. And this is another simple way where you can create a object. So PowerShell uses objects to represent the items in data store or the state of a computer. For example, like file info object represents the files in the file system drive, and process info object represents the process on the computer. So objects have properties which stores the data about the object, then methods that let you change the object. So to get the uh, methods of any object, we can use get member commandlet using member type value method. So to get the methods of this commandlet, you can use get process, then pass it to get member. Member type will be method. So you'll get all the methods. To invoke a method, so let's say invoke a method. So here I'm just assigning it to a variable called notepad, then using dot symbol to uh, invoke the method. The same way you can do in a single line, just add it in the braces and then create. Again, get all the child item, copy to the file. This is also another method, and we'll see a simple example here. So what I'm doing is um, I'm getting all the content of the file and assigning it to a variable. Then I'm initializing a pattern, then get the count, line count and all, then the log. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm getting all the content from a file, then checking whether the provided pattern is available in that file or not. I'm just looping through it and incrementing the count and just printing the line. So how it works is, like you can see, if I execute this, I have some content which has could not find as well. So the pattern is this. So once I execute this, you can see pattern found at line number 17, line number 29, and line number 45. So total pattern found is 3, and the log like pattern found at like this. So this is a real-time example. If you want to find something inside the folders or in the inside the file, you can use this. And like the methods which I am using here is contains. Okay. So get the line and check contains, and like there are other methods like to replace the strings. You can use replace and all on the string. So those are the simple examples. If you want to use, you can utilize the methods. So properties are the data that is associated with an object. So different types of object have different properties. For example, a file info object, which represents a file, has an is read only property that contains a true if the value of a file the read only attribute, and false if it is not. Then a directory info object, which represents the file system directory, has a parent property that contains the path of parent directory. To get the properties of an object, we can use get member commandlet using member type property with value property. So to get the properties of any command, you can see these are the properties of a path. Then again, to retrieve the value, you can use like execute the command, then use dot symbol. You can get the value of the property. Then there are other ways. You can use format list and select object, which will provide all the properties of a file or a commandlet. So you can see we have lots of properties here: PS path, parent path and all. Again, select object also does the same thing. And the static properties, the static properties are the properties of class, unlike standard properties, which are properties of an object. To get the static properties of a class, we can use the static parameter of get member commandlet. So you can see these are the static properties. To retrieve that, you can use like this. So add the system date name, then get the static property. So it is a simple example to create the properties of a file. So what I am doing is I'm just getting the size of the folder. This is a parent folder. Then get um, items of the folder. I'm assigning it a variable. Then looping through it, and I have created a hash table here. And like for each value, I'll get the size, a child item, full name, recursive, and container, and just check the value, measures sum, then like converting it to the kb, and then storing it to the value like size, the folder name. And once it is executed, you can say I have created an object here and passing the property. So we have already seen how to assign the value to the objects and all, and pass the property value. So you can see here, once I execute this, the folder will have folder name, then the size in kb will have the size of the folder. Recurse through it, get the value, add it to the pipe, check whether it's a container or not, then measure some properties length, measure the length of the folder, then submit. Each command is passed to the next execution, like it will check the value and do the required things and get the value and assign it to the size. So it's like a real time example where you can get the file size of folders, like folder size basically. Yeah, means we can use objects, properties, and methods in most of the places in PowerShell. Like while you are getting details of an user, you can create an object, then assign all the required values, like first name, last name, SAM account name, and all. Then you can pass it to like you can convert it to the CSV in the CSV format, providing the delimiter and all. So you can have proper format in CSV also. Let's see functions in PowerShell. So when for starting out writing PowerShell script, we are not necessarily concerned about things such as modularity, reusability, and best practices. We are just getting the things to be done. So however time goes on, we'll realize that we are repeating our code. So you will notice that the need to do same things over and over keeps getting greater, and you could just copy paste the same code, but it's not sustainable. So a function is a in PowerShell is a grouping of code that has an optional input and output. It's a way of collecting bunch of code to perform one or more many different things by just pointing to it instead of duplicating the code. So let's see the syntax of creating functions. So it start with a function keyword, then a scope. It's not a mandatory one, then the name, so it is required, then the types, like you can have the parameters, you can pass the parameters, you can provide the type as well. Again, it's not mandatory. Then we have parameters, and we'll do some validations and all. Then dynamic parameters, begin a process, and then again we'll have end, and also return type will be there. The simple syntax will be a function, function name, and statement within the brackets. Let's see some examples of function. So this is a simple function example with a return type. So as I mentioned, like it contains a function keyword, then the name of the function. It's a like get time, like empty function, like no parameters. So when we call this function, like we need like to invoke the function, we need to use the function name. If we have parameter, we have to pass the parameter. In this case, there is no parameter, it's just returning the date. So if we execute this, you can see we get that time. So This is not the ideal case, but this is a simple function. So you can get the date, you can format it. Means you can create a function to format the dates to a required format and all. Then that can be used in multiple ways. Then the next thing will be passing the parameters. So in this case, we are just getting the time. Here you can see using square operation, like I'm using the multiplication operator to just to get the square of provided entry. So in this case, you can see, then like what you need to do is yeah, might like this. Yeah. So that was a comment. So here I need to provide the value. So let's say I'm giving 2. So it will give the result saying 2 into 2 will be 4. The square of 2. So you can provide any integer characters. So here you can see I'm using the name get square with a type int. I'll be having the parameter value. Then I'll be creating a variable. Then I'm just doing the multiplication of the parameter, then returning the result. Once I get the result, I'll be having like a right output. I'm just showing it to the console. Then there are a couple of ways, like call the function by value, by reference and all. So you can see here, I have created a function with get by value. I'm passing the value. Then I'm just printing the things, and we can see how we can differentiate it. So you can see the value will be 0 here. The password value is 0. Then value means I have just replaced it or reassigned the value, and you can see again 1. Then if I print outside the function, it will be 0 again. So as I have passed the value by value, so it's just inside the function. The scope will just inside the function. Outside it will be again the normal value itself. It's kind of global initialization, like global variable and local variable. Here value will be local. Outside it will be again global. Like whatever the change we make inside the function will remain inside the function itself. If you want to change it globally, we need to do, or we need to use get by reference, like we have to reference the variable. In this case, you can see if I execute this, you can see it is printing 0 and like reassigned to 1. Then again, if we print outside, it is 1, like we are referencing, like passing the value by reference. Again, the positional parameters, like if you want to instead of proper values, if you want to pass it and you want to get the parameter inside the function, you can use args. This is like a PowerShell command itself. Instead of having a variable passed, you can see here I'm just getting array thing. So it's like the args array variable may be used to access a variable length parameter list, like it's you can access within the function. Then again, by default, PowerShell arguments are passed by position. Parameter name may be used to identify parameters, like by passing position. So in this case, the first case, you can see I'm just printing the name and the number. So it will take 1 and 2 as the position. But if you want to pass it as a named parameter, you can see here. Now it's considering name as Vicky, then again number as 1. Then again, as I mentioned, we have scope. So if I use with a function scope, the change in the value won't replicate outside the function. If you want to use the scope, then you can use script. So like you can use a scope modifier to change the scope of a variable. So here you can see the value can be changed outside as well. Then here we have a simple example how to get the factorial of any character. Like you can see if I execute this, I provide 5, it will be 120. The factorial of 5 will be 120. Like I have created a function with get factorial, passing the parameters. Then we are calculating the factorial of a character. Like it goes like it's a recursive function. Like I'm calling function within function until it reaches the value. If the provided value is less than 0, the result will be 0. If it is less than 1, the again result will be 1. So how it calculates is like this. For 1, value will be 1. For 2, it will be 1 into 2. That's a factorial. For 3, it will be 1 into 2 into 3. That's how it works. So for this we are just doing recursive function, multiplying value, and I'm calling factorial every time until it reaches 0. Then the next one will be we can validate the things inside parameters. Like you can validate saying like whether it's null or not, or we can check the length of the parameter, range of the parameter and all. Here are some of the example, like how we can validate. Here you can see I'm passing a double here, so you can, if I make it as int, you can see the result 0, and if I pass 2, it will give integer value only 4. But if I make it double, then it will just give like this. Mandatory also you can add, like let's say if I won't pass, think it will say it's required, it won't execute. But in the previous case, if I want, it won't do anything. But if we make it as a mandatory true, then it will prompt you for provide the password. Again, you can check null pointer validate not null and all. um, Get possessive and script validation. You can validate things like not equal to 0, not equal throw error if it is 0. And like this we have many validation, pattern validation, we have a script validation have shown here. Then again, length validation, you can check validate length instead of validate not null, you can use validate length. Then we have seen not null and all. Again we have validate range and all. So we'll see a simple example on function. So it's a simple example here. Get the empty directory. We have used command let binding. So PowerShell consider it as like some of the default parameter will be added to the uh, functions and all if you use these things. And this is again multi-line comments. Then parameters, I have given the parameters like the position also you can give. Path will be one of the parameter, then recursive, then the depth, like until how like how much depth you can go to get the folder details and all. Then the like, again, as I mentioned, the syntax is like begin, we have process and end. Here I'm just getting item parameters, path and directory is true. Then whether item parameter recursive is true, then I'm again checking the depth of the parameter. I'm passing all the item parameters to the command. Let here I'm just getting get command, get child item, passing all the parameters and select full name. So once I pass the parameter, like all the details will get low. So let me execute this first. So you can see now get empty directory, and we can pass anything here. So there is no empty directory. This is how value will be shown. Like no empty directory true false, what I'm doing is I'm creating custom object with value. So I'm just checking all the means once I get all the folder using get a child item, I'm looping through it, then checking whether it's empty or not. If it is not empty, then I'm just adding it's not empty the folder name. So this is again simple example which you can use in the real time and like make use of the function whenever I want instead of executing again and again. Like you can just compile it once and then use whenever it's required, like this. And you can see it has added get member type. Let me give methods. So you can get the methods of all the things like using, you can see equal methods is there, again get hash string empty directory path and all. This is how you can use a function in real time. So one of the key parts of any good PowerShell script is error handling. So even the shortest script being able to handle errors helps to ensure that an unexpected event will not go on to wreck the system you are working on. So let's see the types of errors in PowerShell. So we have a terminating and non-terminating error. So terminating error is a serious error during execution that halts the command or script execution completely. So examples like including non-existent commandlet syntax error that would prevent a commandlet from running or other fatal errors. And like non-terminating errors are a non-serious errors that allows execution to continue despite the failure, like including operational errors such as file not found permissions problems. And when either type of error occurs during execution, it is logged to a global variable called error, like dollar error. This variable is a collection of PowerShell error objects with a most recent error at index 0. Um, yeah, like on a freshly initialized PowerShell instance, the error variable is ready and waiting as an empty collection, like it will be empty. But like once you execute your query, if there is any error, it will be logged to the error variable. And we have error action preference as well, like PowerShell halts execution on terminating errors. As mentioned before, like non-terminating errors, we have an option to PowerShell to tell a PowerShell how to handle this situation, like where the like error action preference will come to a picture, like allow us to specify the desired behavior for non-terminating error. It can be scoped at the command level or all the way up to the scripting level as well. So we have a couple of error action preferences like silently continue, stop, continue, inquiry, and ignore. So silently continue in the sense error messages are suppressed and execution continues. Stop will be force execution to stop, behaving like a terminating the things. Like it's the same thing, terminating error. Then continue will be a default option. Error will be display and execution will continue. And inquiry like prompts the user for input to see if we need to proceed. And we have a ignore as well. The error is ignored and not logged to error stream. So as I mentioned, we have error. You can see it's a array list. The error count, like I have executed multiple or many scripts and commandlet, so I have 14 errors now. So I have mentioned like error action preference. This is the variable we have. We can see error. The current error action preference is continue. I can add a stop as well. So you can. This is like a scripting level. This is a scripting level thing. Like if you want to stop execution of a script while executing, you can add it in the top of the script. So you can see I'm using get child item commandlet. Like is a fake folder. Then I have EA like error action preference. Then silently continue. You can see if I execute this, silently continue. But if I add stop again, nothing happens. But you can see like you can see here if I execute these two things, this won't print. And if I give silently continue, you can see here test got printed. If I add stop, the next command won't get printed. Then again I have inquiry. You can see cannot find path because it does not exist. Suspend. And this is how you can add like error action in the script or in the command line. Then the main thing in error handling is try catch final blocks. The try catch and finally a statement allows us to control script flow when we encounter errors. So this is similar to things which we have in other programming language as well. Like we have try catch finally in most of all the languages. So the behavior of a try catch to catch the terminating error exceptions. This means like non-terminating error, operational error inside a try block will not trigger a catch. If you need like that, like you need to add error action stop. So like whenever there is a error inside the try block, so it will be catched in the catch block. Like instead of like you can show here, like you can if I execute this, you can see means there is no process like this, so cannot find a process with process identifier this. And non-terminating error invalid action because I have added action as a stop. If I have not added this, cannot find the process. You can see like we didn't get stop. You can see try catch block also didn't executed. So you again, if I add silently continue, you can see catch block not executed got printed. So this is how you can add the things inside try catch block. So uh, before like or for all the script, it's better to add try catch block. All the statements add just within this enclose, like within these brackets. Then try catch block, you can add the exceptions and all. The syntax is simple, like add the statements here, then error statement. So you can see there is no command let call nonsense string. So you can see here an error occurred, error in catch block. So any statements like you can have 100 lines, you can add it inside the try catch block, and you can add multiple catch block as well. Like you can see, I have added multiple catch blocks here, and an error occurred that could not be resolved because the first one didn't got executed. It executed the second one because of this. If I have comment this, the script will execute normally. And you can access the exception like if you want to access the things, you can see if you want to access the variable, you just need to add dollar symbol underscore, then the term is not recognized. So anything if you want to show to the user, you can add the things. But if you want it as simple as that, you can make it like an error occurred. This is a simple syntax, like you can add multiple catch, one try and multiple catch block. And you can add try catch block inside again a try block, but again it depends. And we have finally as well like any things like if you want to close the sessions, close the things, like if you want to say like all the statement is executed, we are done with this, and if you want to nullify the variables, you can use finally block. So if there is error or if there is no error, finally block will be executed. You can see here if I execute this, you can see finally block executed if there is error also. And this script, you can see I have added like it is just an multi-line comments attempting dangerous operation. Then it's just an simple as command, let it just get content and action stop. And try catch block, I have added the errors, caught an exception. You can add the foreground color as red, so it's in red color. Then exception type, you can see automation item not found exception. you can get the exception name using again dollar symbol underscore exception dot get type. So you got the exception and the type, then the full name. And exception message also, as I shown, you can get the message saying cannot find a path because it does not exist. As I mentioned again, anything if you want to close, like let's say you are enabling some connection with the cloud or Azure or like some certification opening or the browsers like database connections, anything which you are opening you can close it inside finally block. And you can say, as I mentioned, you'll get the error exception get name and the full name. If you want to get the name of the exception, you can use like this. Then you can see if the previous script got executed correctly or not. You can use that. Again, like what happens when your script needs to run an external process from PowerShell and you want to know if it is succeeded or not. An example would be like command line tools such as here you can see robocopy.exe. It's an external application that returns an exit code upon completion. But since it is external process, like its error will not be caught in your try catch blocks. So to get those things, like you can utilize last exit code variable, so that in most cases an exit code 0 means success and 1 or greater indicates a failure. So you can see in this case you won't get anything. Like if you want to check those things, you can use this. If it is greater than 0, you can block the things. And invoking terminating and non terminating error, you can see we have a write error as well. It will write the error, non terminating error and all. Then going to try a terminating error. So you can see here. The next I don't get printed. So, but if I do this, going to try terminating error got printed. So this is a terminating error. This is kind of not terminating error. Means if you want to write any error inside catch block, you can use write error and all. Again, write host is a simple one which you can write into the host and all. Yeah, this is more about error handling in PowerShell. So the recommendation will be adding try block on all the scripts so that you can catch the errors and debugging will be easy. So it's a simple example here, sending email. So if you want to send email and like you can see, I'll be adding it in try block and I'm creating a mail message thing. Just consider it as a right host. So here I'll be writing host. Mm. And with this. Yeah. So if 0 it is success, if it is 1 it is failure. So it's a simple example. So I'm just creating SMTP server, reading the email address from and to and the subject and the body. So once I'm getting the creating the object, I'm building some SMTP server, then setting all the messages, then sending email. This if you have SMTP server, this will work. And this just to send email thing. So I'm using try catch block. All the like execution required statements I have added inside try block. If there is any error, I like it will catch in the catch block. This simple example. The same thing can be used like if you want to get the active directory user, you can use this. If you want to get or set some email address, email attributes, you can use try catch block. And all the error which got during execution, it will be cached in the catch block. So here we'll see regular expressions in PowerShell. So regular expression is like a pattern used to match a text. So it contains of like operators or literals or any characters and all. So we'll see how we can use regular expression concepts in PowerShell. So the simple way is just passing um, text with match regular expression like this. Yes, it also can see like true. So here some of the operators commonly used are a dot or period, which is anything. Means then the asterisk, the star will be for zero or more of it, and zero or more of anything like dot and star. Question mark will be for zero or one time. Okay, so you can see here you can pass true. If I give star, true. So this is how we can use pattern regex in PowerShell. So here we're passing some sample text which contains some of required text, then sample pattern. Now we can see if we send this, it will give a true, and there is a match variable which will contains it's a kind of hash map, so contains the key value pair of the index and the uh, matched text. So here means usually it we can't pass multiple objects or characters for like it won't store the multiple matched objects, so it will store a single one here. So if you can see this character, so same way if I pass this string match, then if I give pattern and you can see we have this, and if you want to get only the matched, just pass the. So here again we can like the simple you can see here 2 3, but if we have passed like this and t dot, can see one only the last matched character will be stored, and we can use match to filter through an array as well. So here I'm splitting with a new character, or sorry, new line, then this you can see it matched on first line, second line on fourth line, so this one it didn't. And you can also sorry. And like PowerShell to introduce a new commandlet for searching through a text using regex means we have select string, so it returns a match info object per text input that contains a match. You can access its property to find matching groups. You can see here like I'm passing the text and pattern. So select string input will be text, pattern will be the pattern variable which we have created, and if I print it, we have a text here, then format list. You can see um, matches search 01, so you get things. Then we have things here. Again, select string can also access matches. So selection can also search using normal text pattern by adding the simple match as well. So Now we can use a static method available in .NET. So here, instead of using all select string or match at all, directly we can use static method, just match the pattern. So you can see here things. Then again select object, expand values. Y- And just to print the value, we can do this. Then a common task for Regex is to replace the text. So with the matched one, we can replace with the new value. So here the things, then text dot replace. So I'll be replacing things. You can see the matched content got replaced with test. Then again, let me initialize again. Then you can use static method as well here. Yeah, regex replace, like we have regex replace match and all. The last one will be the escape character. So use mini special character to describe a pattern, like for a plus operator or a bracket, like small brackets. You need to escape those characters here. Like you can see, we are escaping the characters here. So instead of doing that, we can directly use escape. So you can see it got escaped, both the brackets. Again, plus got escaped, dot got escaped. So if you want to escape any character, you can use that. And let me create a variable and pass it through this. Then you can see the match for every line. We can have match, but we can't have all the variables. Like we can't pass everything and get a match, means match variable. Like only the first one will be stored. So if you want to get for each line, you need to loop through it. So here what I am doing is, I have a quick grown fox jumped over the lazy dog. So that I'm storing in words. Then I'm splitting it based on the empty empty space. So I have a list here. So if I try to print words, I have a list of words here. So for each word, I'm checking whether it starts with A to L, anything between A to L, and it contains zero, sorry, O. Then for each, check whether it's matched or not. So you can see here, and like I'm just printing for each, get the match variable index 0. This is all about regular expressions in PowerShell. We use this regular expression in lots of places in daily use. So modules in PowerShell, like a module is a package that contains PowerShell members such as commandlets, providers, functions, workflows, variables, aliases, and all. So the members of this package can be implemented in PowerShell script, a compiled DDL, DLL, or a combination of both. These files are usually grouped together in a single directory. So after PowerShell 3 version, PowerShell imports module automatically the first time that you run any command in an installed module. So whenever we need to have some special module, we need to import those things, like for Exchange Online, Active Directory, and all. So to get the module, you can use get module list available. It will print all the installed module. It might take some time, but it will list all the installed modules, like all the imported modules. So how to use modules, like how to import and all, we'll see. So here you can see there are some of the modules which it's inside my system actually. So you can see I have simply SQL, some package management, PowerShell get, SQL Server. There are many. And if you want to get the module for certain command, let you can see again, you can do it here. It will print like this. Import module, like simply you can use import module and then provide the module name. And like how to install it, like if you receive a model as a folder with file in it, you need to install it in on your system before you need to use it in PowerShell. Like most modules are installed for you, like PowerShell comes with several pre-installed modules, sometimes called the core modules. So use this command, let like a new item, type directory, create the modules, then copy the entire module folder into a module directory. Then like as I mentioned, like get command, you can use module and just pass the module name, you'll get the modules. And how to import a module into an every session, like as I mentioned, like import module command imports module into your current session. And remove module will remove the module from the session. The PS module path, environment PS module path contains the list of folder location that are search to find the modules. Like so when we use the get module list available, it will search in this path actually. These are the module folders currently I have in my system. So yeah, means whenever we use or whenever we want to use some of the out of the box or some modules, we need to import those things, like as I mentioned, simply SQL or Active Directory, Exchange Online, those things. So if you don't want to use import modules, like you can add it in the your profile as well, so that every time you open the session, modules will be imported. So let's see some commonly used commandlets in PowerShell. So some of the commandlets we use on daily basis. One of that is like file operations. Like there are some commandlets which we can use for performing some file operations and all, like creating new file. If you want to create a new file, what are the command you need to use? And for copying the items, get the contents, create new directory and all, there are some commandlets. We'll see those things in this thing. Like if you want to create a new file, we have a commandlet called new item. So we need to pass the path, the name of the file, the item that will be a file, and forcefully you need to create it. So then I'll give you here the path. So the location will be under E drive. Then new item, path, the location, the name, the file name, then the type will be file. So once I create this, file will be created. You can see, means we can test the path as well. Like there are many cases we need to check whether the path is there or not. Like you can check the path. So in this case, what I will do is I will, it's there. So if I provide, can say it's false. So this thing we can add it in the condition, like before doing some operation on the particular file, you can check whether file is present or not. Then to copy the file from one destination, like one path to another path. So here you can see I'll be initializing the things, like you can do these things, like you can get all the required content from the directory, which includes .csv. Like you can include only .csv here. So you can see ls. These are the content present in current directory. And if you see for this, currently I have .csv file. Then recursive, like it will do a recursive check. It will check the subfolders and all. It's the same as get content, sorry, get child item, and this path. It will just check that path and provide the required things. Then first I will initialize this. Then you can see folder. I have this file now. Then destination folder will be this. You can see um, so nothing inside this folder. Then let's copy the folder from one path to another path. Now if I do ls, you can see file copied. Then reading the file, if you want to read any file, you can use get content. It might got changed. You can read the content. So if you want to copy the content from one path to another, or if you want to rename, sorry, not copying, if you want to rename, you can use like this. File got renamed, so that you can check. You can see file got renamed. Then again, the next thing will be like get the directory. You can see, then get only extension.dll, and let's print those things. There are many files under this folder which where the extension is .dll. Then moving the item from one directory to another directory. Let's check this path. Just add it within double quotes. File is present, and let's do ls. Nothing inside there. So what I will be doing is moving it. It's not copying, it's moving. So now if I do ls, you can see file got moved. So again, we can test the path before deleting it. Yeah, file is there. I'll be removing it. Now, if we test the path, it will give false. So these are the basic file operation, like how to create a new file, how to copy the file from one path to another path, get the content from the file, rename the file, like do recursive check on particular destination or particular path, like using get child. It's like ls you can use, list you can use. These are all aliases for get child item commandlet. Then if you want to move, we have move item, remove item. So new item, copy item, rename item, move item, and remove item. These are the commandlets which are commonly used in many places. So another commandlet which commonly used is get date. So the get date command provides the current date and time. So if I use get date, it provide the date, time, and all. So this command gets a date time object, but it displays only the date. Like you can see here, only date is printed. So you have other things like date, time, print everything. Then if you want time, it will print time. Then general format, it's a general format, like get date is a commandlet, just provide the path format, then it will give in general format. Get date format, if you want to pass in the required format, you can run like this. So date, month, day, month, date, year, hour, minutes, and the time zone. So again, same thing you can do, like we can format based on our requirement as well. So this command dash displays the day of year for the current date. For example, in this case it's 366 day, and creates a variable of a, like let me create this variable. Then we can get daylight saving, it's false. Convert current date to UTC time, you can see it again. These are the basic things which you can do. Like most of the times, where we can use the get time is like creating the file. Like if you want to create a logger files or any files based on the date time, you can use this get date format on this. Then again I can do like this, then print timestamp. Then I can replace the colons and all. So you can see if I print the timestamp again, it got converted. Then I can create the file or folder. You can see folder got created with this timestamp. So these are the basic things which we can do using get date. Like you can format based on your required format and all. Then use means maybe for logging the things, write the logs or to any logger files based on the errors and all. You can use get date and all. Thanks. So another comments which we use frequently are like process and services. To get the current process and services running in the machine or any servers, you can use get process or get services. So you can get the process name, ID, you can stop it, start it, and do a lot of things using this command let. To get the process, you can use get process. Can see all the processes which are running in the system with name, note, and the asterisk, like anything which starts with note. Then get all the process, then format based on the priority. So you can see the normal, above normal. These are all based on the priority class. Then start the process. I'll be starting it. You can see how it's opened again. Start process, PowerShell, wait, normal, PowerShell also got started. Stop the process means then stop process means you can add a confirm. There are two uh, parameters we have, confirm and what if. So you can see if I use confirm, I'll get the a pop-up to make the decision. So if I give no, it won't close. Again, instead of this, I can use what if. It will say performing the operation stop process on target notepad. Start process again. You can get the things, then stop the process. And we have wait process as well. It means sometimes if the process takes times to stop, so we can use wait process. And we have like a get service command, let get all the services here running, like it will give all the required details here, like it's running or not, what is its name, display name and all. Get all the services where display name start with AC and all the name which starts with Tom. Then get service. To get the service on remote server, you can use get server computer name like this. Start, stop, suspend, restart. Like if you want to restart, like basically it's better to use start or stop within try catch block. So if you want to use this, you can see it will take some time for some of the commandlets, and restart and suspend. Like if you want to suspend any services, you can use suspend and restart. And in the same way, if you want to stop, sometimes like, as I mentioned, it will take some time saying waiting for service to stop. So these two are the commandlets used in most of the places on daily basis. In system admins use these process to get the details from the remote server and all, get the process and services, use these commandlets. We'll see some of examples of WMI and CIM commandlets. So CIM and WMI is a most commonly used to query information or configuration on a device through a class that represents a configuration process, user, etc. In PowerShell, there are multiple ways to access these classes and instances. But the most common ways are by using get CIM instance or get WMI object commandlets. So basically, WMI, Windows Management Instrumentation, is a Microsoft developed system that manages data and operations for Windows-based system. It is used to monitor system, automate administrative tasks, and share management information. And CIM, Common Information Model, is a standardized way of monitoring health performance for computer hardware such as servers and storage. So after PowerShell 3.0, people go over with a get CIM class thing. So the get CIM instance, like people prefer CIM instance over WMI. So let's see some of the uh, usage of these commandlets. So there are many classes available in CIM and WMI which are represented in multiple namespace. The most common namespace in Windows is root slash CIM v2. To find the right class, it can use to list all the searches. Like let's say if I execute this, it will list all the classes. The same goes for get CIM class as well. So let me stop it. Again, same goes for this. And you can search for specific class using wildcards. So you can see here if you want to get the class for process which contains process, you can use this. Means these are the classes we can use. And again with CIM class. So the like both works as similarly. Like if you want to get the namespace, like the namespace is simply called root. You can list classes in another namespace using the parameter namespace. Sorry, this one and this one also will give the same thing. And here are the example how we can use these commandlets. So the Win32 BIOS WM class represents the attributes of computer system basic input output service BIOS that installed on the computer. The same goes for both. Like if I execute this, you'll get the information of the system. Then the same thing here. Like the result will be the same, but as I mentioned, instead of using WMI, it is better to use CIM instance. And Win32 computer system class represents a computer system operating in a Windows environment. You can see this will you like this. If you want, if you use format list, you will use same output. And network adapter configuration class represents the attributes and behavior of a network adapter. These are the behavior actually. So again, you can use format list here. Then using filter, um, like you can use filter like we can apply a filter to only get a specific instance of a class. Or return like we can write this using QL or CQL. Like filter uses where part of a full WQL or CQL query. You can see there is nothing like that. So no process with this. If I use let me see whether we have anything like this. Yeah, nothing. Let me see. So these are the process available. Let me stop this and get the name of any one of this. Then we can execute. You can see this is how you have to pass the name of the process. And like we can use, as I mentioned, we can use WQL query to query and filter the instances. Same thing I will do here. Yeah, you'll get the required result. You can pass any filter, like it's just a kind of SQL query. Select from everything, like where the process is or class is Win32 process, when name is this. And like the get WMI object communicate may be used to connect to the remote computers using computer name parameter. Like this we can use like we have to pass credentials as well, like for CMI instance. Like you need to create new CMI session, kind of like new CIM session. You need to open this and pass the credentials. What are the computers you want to use? Like parameter will be computer name, then pass the computer name, then credentials. You need to pass credentials and all, then get the credentials. You can get the credentials from the user. Then and this the instance, like assign these to variable. You can say session, and then use this session in the get CMI instance command. This is all like this command, like connecting to the remote system can be used in real time thing. Like you can connect to multiple systems and get the required system informations, so that you will make sure that the process is running or not, or you can check what are the process running, service or executing, on which state like service currently is, and all you will get it. So another set of commandlets we use frequently in real time is Active Directory model. So for this, we need to import Active Directory model, and we have a scripts for creating new user, updating user, retrieve users, remove users, and again that's AD users and AD groups. We can do like create, modify, view, and delete. So these four operations we can do, and we can add users to groups and all. So for that, basically, first we need to import a module. Then we have a command let's called add new AD users, get AD users, set hyphen AD users, and remove hyphen AD users. First, new AD users will create the Active Directory user. Then get AD users will retrieve the users. Set AD user will modify any attributes. Then remove AD user will remove the users from the domain. So all these things, you need required permissions as well, and you need to be in the domain itself. Like the server connectivity should be there, and you need to in the network itself. So the first thing will be new AD user. For this we need the path, that is the DN which you need to assign to the user, the SAM account name, and the name of the user, account password, and enable is true. So for account password, what I am doing is I'm converting it to the structure string, passing the password as a plain text. Firstly, I'm doing it. I'm just passing the password to the commandlet. So here it will create the new user. Then we have get AD user commandlet gets the user object or perform a search to retrieve multiple users objects. So here what we are doing is like just pass the SAM account name, or so you can have a filter option like get hyphen AD user filter. You can add email, first name, last name, or anything like that, and get the AD user. Here I'm assigning it to the variable. From this you can get all the properties of past or queried user. Then set AD user. Here set AD user identity, and passing the username. Enable means I'm just disabling the user. So like this you can modify any attributes of an user. Then remove the user using remove AD user. Here we have commandlets for group operations like new AD group. Same way, like path need to be provided. The group name, so the scope will be the global. So here I'm giving the path. Basically it is DN. Then remove AD group will remove the things. Now add group member here. So you can see add member identity and the member. So the group name and the members you need to pass. So I have sample scripts here. So what I am trying to do here is I'm modifying or I'm creating the AD user, then adding I'm creating the AD group and adding users to the AD group. So I have created object just for logging purpose. I can say like whenever I iterate through the list of groups, then I will log it like group, the key as a group, then the name will be the value, then status is saying created. If there is any failure, error message. Then once for every iteration I will be creating new object and assigning it to the object variable. Then after that I will be exporting it to CSV. So first step, like I'm getting the list of groups, and the see, like it will be in the CSV format, which contains name and members. Members will be in this thing like delimited with a pipe. So here I'm splitting it, you can see. Then using like once it is splitted, it will be assigned as a list. Then I'm again iterating through it. The first thing will be get the list of groups, then new AD group dot name, which will retrieve the first entry name, then the path will be the default, and the category. So for each group, then again I'm using split operation, then iterating through the users. So in this case, if I have 3 users, it will have 3 iteration, and AD group member will add member to the group. This is one of the real time example. If you want to modify a user, or if you want to create new group and add user to the group, you can use this thing. Again, setting VPN. So I have set AD user here. Same way, like I'm iterating list of users using import CSV, the same way which I have done here. So here you can see I have used import CSV as well as export CSV. So the input will be in the CSV format. Again, output will also be in the CSV format. Here the CSV header will be name and members, and output will be group and status. So here I'll get the list of users. So same way it will contain SAM account name as a header, and for every thing, like for every iteration, again I'm creating the objects here. Once iteration is done, I'm exporting the object. So it's kind of logging the things. Then for each users in the user list, set AD user for the SAM account name, user principal name. The user principal name will be like a SAM account name plus, means you can add anything, like it's depending upon the organization. So in the property I will be creating key and value and error message, like SAM account name, UPN, and the error message. So this is another way to update the users for like list of users, like iterate over it and then update the users. Likewise, you can also create the groups or create the accounts and all. So this is all about Active Directory module. Let's see some of frequently used PowerShell commandlets for remoting. So if you want to run any commands on remote system, there are some commandlets which we can use. So before creating any session, we need to enable the PS remoting. So we have enable PS remoting, and like to disable, we have disable PS remoting. Enable PS remoting commandlet configures the computer to receive Windows PowerShell remote commands that are sent by using WS management technology. And likewise, like disable PS remoting commandlet prevents user on other computers from running commands on local computer. So this command runs the set ws man quick config commandlet, which performs the task like starts WinRM service, then starts the startup type on WinRM service to automatic. So creates the listener to accept a request on any IP address if one does not already exist. Enables firewall exception for WS management communication. Register the Microsoft.PowerShell and Microsoft.PowerShell workflow session configuration. And again registers Microsoft.PowerShell 32 session. Enables all the session configuration. Change the security descriptor of all session configuration to allow remote access. Restart the WinRM service to make preceding changes effective. So then we have enter PS session. So enter PS session commandlet starts an interactive PowerShell session with a single remote computer. During this session, the commands that you type run on a remote computer, just as though you were typing directly on the remote computer. So to create session, like we have new PS session. So here you can just create a session, like enter to the session, the remote host. Like you can, sometimes you need to pass the credentials as well. And you can, it's just an interactive session, like you can execute all the commands which you are execute, or which you can execute in the local system. And this command creates a PS session on local computer, saves the PS session in variable. So this, in this variable, it will store the value. And again, if you want to create a session on multiple servers, so There are types like one to one interactive and one to many. So this will be one to one and this will be one to many. So you will be creating multiple sessions here. And again, you can invoke the command let. So once you create the session, right, like we can pass it to invoke command, pass the session, pass the script block. So if you do this here, like it will yeah, like this. So you can execute any command like block of script which passed inside the script block in remote session. So you can have multiple sessions or single session. So let's say if you want to get the any BIOS information on the computer system, like the process services and all. So there is again command let here. I can see which contains parameter name as computer. So these are the command which you can execute. Like we have connect PS session, get PS session, new PS session, remove PS session, send mail message. So these are the command which contains parameter as a computer name. Instead of session, again as I mentioned, like invoke command, and you can pass the computer name as well. So the best practice for automatically clean up the session are like you need to enclose everything with a try catch block, then inside finally like remove the session. So first you can see in the try block, I'll be creating the session, passing computer name, then pass the session into invoke command and have the script block. Here I'm just this is running on just printing the things. It's just kind of sort write the things on the host. Then if there is any error, it will catch in the catch block. Finally, once the things are done, session will be removed. So actually, this is the best practice. Like, so any error happens, it will be cached, and end of execution, session will be removed. So this is a basic thing on PS remoting. So if you want to connect to a remote system and get the things, like you can get all the process running and the services running and all, you can have automated script instead of logging into multiple server and get the logs. You can just have a session created and execute the command and log the things into any local system like text files or CSV files, so that and again once execution is done, you can send email as well, like to automate the things. You can use PSSN commands. So finally, this tutorial covers the basics of PowerShell, from basic commands to more advanced scripting techniques. PowerShell is an extremely powerful tool for automation and system administration, and it can be used for a wide variety of tasks. To continue learning, practice using commandlets, write your own scripts, and explore additional resources like Microsoft documentation. So for furthermore, I will upload all the real-time based PowerShell examples, and I have added my PowerShell blocks and the PowerShell site which I have created, which contains all the required modules and topics. Thanks for watching.